So we're at a very interesting time in the markets right now. We're at a phase where investors are latching on to any little piece of bullish news as a sign of a potential comeback rally. The question is, are we all delusional? This is a video you do not want to miss, that is for sure. But remember, nothing here is financial advice. I could always be wrong. Make sure you guys do on research. Now, before I get deeper into the video, real quick, for anyone looking for a great crypto exchange, check out my link to BTCC. You get 10% bonus on first time deposits, extra bonuses up to $10,000. It requires no VPN and no KYC. The link will be in my description down below for anyone that's interested. All right, so getting back into things, the crypto market looked the exact same as it did yesterday. It looked the exact same as it did the day before yesterday, the day before that, the day before that, and the day before that. We continue to see red right across the board. Most investors are not making money right now unless you're shorting the market. And on top of all of that, the fear and greed index is still in extreme fear. It's been in here for quite some time. As you can see here, yesterday, extreme fear. Last week, extreme fear. Last month, it was sitting at fear. We are currently at 11 extreme fear. People are in massive panic mode right now. Matter of fact, just a few days ago, McDonald's was trending. People are saying that there's been a surge in job applicants as far as McDonald's go. But obviously, there was no real data or statements to support it. But as you can see here, a viral claim says McDonald's saw record job applicants during the crypto crash. At least people's sense of humor is still up there. So that's a great sign. People aren't going to do anything crazy because their portfolio is currently down on the year. But now let's get into the hope on the day. So as you can see here on this post, Nvidia's earnings crushed the bubble narrative and confirmed explosive, real demand across the entire AI stack. If this momentum holds, the backdrop for risk assets, including crypto, changes fast. And then you Google Nvidia stock and literally everybody's talking about Nvidia because they beat earnings it came in higher than expected. And people are like, okay, well, is the crypto market going to take off now? And we saw a little bit of a surge in Bitcoin. Bitcoin went to like 92 or 93,000. So it went up maybe a couple $1,000s, right? But on the day, Bitcoin came crashing back down. So clearly, the Nvidia news wasn't big enough to have a surge in Bitcoin's price or just all of crypto's price. And I'm not surprised because if you guys have been watching my videos over the last couple of days, I did tell you that I believe that 2025 is pretty much a wrap in terms of like bullish things for crypto, but there's some great things expected to happen in 2026, which leads me to believe that mid 2026 is going to be a fantastic year for crypto. But anyways, back to the Nvidia news, right? So what I think happened is people was watching Nvidia and collectively a lot of investors came together and be like, okay, well, if Nvidia beats earnings, there is a sign, a potential that the crypto market could have a pretty decent bounce. And because of that, I'm going to open up some long positions. And then obviously this happened. So this was from just a few minutes ago. Okay, so just in, another $210 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes. You know, one thing that I've learned over the past couple years is when everybody is saying the same thing, normally everybody is wrong and you should do the complete opposite. Everybody felt like they knew when the bull market was going to happen, but it never really made sense. So it's almost like saying you can read the future. You can predict what's going to happen based off of what happened previously, previous cycles and all that sorts of stuff, right? But ultimately it comes down to buyers and sellers. If no one is buying, there's not going to be a altcoin season, right? We have to have buyers. And what we're seeing happen with Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is at 86,500. This pattern that I've been talking about for over the last couple of months, it continues to play out. And no one really knows where the bottom of Bitcoin is going to be. So if you're on X or social media or YouTube or whatever, and someone's saying this is going to be the absolute bottom, because during these time periods, what I notice is a lot of people, especially on X, like to say the bottom is in. The bottom is in. You're going to see posts like that on a daily basis. And some people is actually going to believe that. They're going to start pouring money like crazy, probably go all in because they saw someone say that the bottom is in and, you know, they go all in and then they get wrecked. Now, I do want to be extremely clear. I am still bullish on the overall direction of the market, but in terms of short-term price action, I am not completely convinced that the bottom is in just as of yet. But I do strongly believe that if you're holding high conviction coins in your portfolio and you see a price that you like, 1000%, you're supposed to buy the dip. That's how you make life-changing returns. All I'm saying right now is no one should be going all in. You always need money on the side just in case the dip continues to dip. But yeah, it is not looking good for Bitcoin or crypto on a whole right now. Like Ethereum is back under $3,000. Like SWI is at $1.49, Solana 132, Tau 306, say 14 cents, Ondo 50 cents. It's a nightmare. But it does beg the question, where do you guys believe we are on this chart right now? Some people believe that we are currently stuck in the denial phase. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, any little piece of news, people feel like it's enough to really catapult the crypto market to the next level. Now, if this is the denial phase though, what would it take for mass panic? What would it take? A 50K Bitcoin? Maybe. But one thing that I do know is it does seem like we're getting closer and closer to anger and then depression. And then in this phase, that's where you should be looking to deploy significant capital. It's going to be hard to spot because no one knows when the bottom is going to happen. But after the depression phase, after everyone has already left because they were already pissed off that they are down so much money in their portfolio, instead of continuing to pay attention to the market, what they're going to do is they're going to leave because they are depressed. And afterwards, we're going to get the disbelief as this market starts to rally again. Then you get the hope, then you get the optimism, then you get the belief, then you get the thrill, then you get euphoria. What I want to know is, where did you guys enter this market though? Did you enter during belief, thrill, euphoria? And if you entered during euphoria, what is your plan moving forward? Because one thing that I can tell you guys is eventually the market will bounce back. Even though we don't know when the bottom is going to happen, eventually it will bounce back. This chart is pretty much the only chart that is consistent with crypto, in my personal opinion. If you guys have been watching my videos for a while, I've been telling you guys for the longest time, I don't pay attention to past cycle charts and what happened before and all that type of stuff, because I'm like, that's in the past. This is a completely different cycle, right? We have big institution, big money is here to play. A lot more manipulation is going on in this space right now, like to crazy levels. All right, so we cannot be looking at previous charts, previous cycles, and going based off of that. Well, this happened around this time last bull cycle, so it's probably going to happen last time. That just gets people wrecked, right? That's what led people to buying in October, what ended up being Downtober. So don't look at previous cycles, previous charts. We need to just take things day by day, step by step, and don't rush the process. Again, I strongly believe this is the only chart people should be paying attention to when it comes to past cycles. Now let me end things off with this. I strongly believe that for anyone to get to that next level financially, you do have to be a little bit delusional. When you think about people that bought Bitcoin early on, when Bitcoin was like $1 or whatever, and they thought that Bitcoin could one day reach like $100,000, which it did, they were a little bit delusional. Looking back now, it's like, oh man, this person was a genius. But if you went back in time and you never knew about Bitcoin back in, the early days, then you would think the person that thinks Bitcoin's going to $100,000 is completely delusional. You think about electric vehicles. People thought that Elon Musk was completely delusional, right? So you do have to have a little bit of a delusional mindset to get to that next level. People that were delusional for Bitcoin way back in the early days, they're laughing all the way to the bank. Elon Musk, the man's a billionaire, laughing all the way to the bank. So you do have to be a little bit delusional. But in the end, as long as you conduct research and you believe in something, I strongly believe that you're going to come out on the side that you want to come out on, and hopefully that's just millions of dollars in your bank account. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out a few of the links down below, and until next time, take care.